and today, hopefully, I'm going to be giving you a comprehensive review of the new car to Beam, the whatever it's called, Civetta Scintilla. I don't know. Apologies for pronouncing it wrong. But we are starting off with the GT model, which is the luxury model, and first car in Beam with V10. So let's see how it goes. And traction control is, oh, that is shocking. The amount of innovations that have been in this game are ridiculous. It's still got active aero, it's got probably sort of invasive driving system, and it's pretty good off, and it is fragile as anything. That is not a high speed crash, and that is already knackered. Look at that wheel, that is terrible. But all the versions of, not most of the versions of this car either come in coupe or Targa versions. But for the hardtops, how cool's that? First car to do it. But as well, it has a very good safety feature, realistic safety feature, which, if it'll flip, it's not fucking do it now. Flip, and doors discharge. Well, usually. There we go. True real life safety feature of modern supercars. And one of the first cars in this game to have a nearly interactable interior. You can interact with the handbrake, hazards, and you can change the axle lift. Now, new cars will be on me. If anyone knows what axle lift does, feel free to explain it to me in the comments. And you can change the launch control settings. How brilliant's that? And as well, while we're here, this has an adaptive dashboard. So, depending on engine temperature state, depends on how high the revs are, or the red line is. So currently it's about 3.5. If I do one lap here, this should be nice and warm. And it tells me to change up as we're going into the higher rev range, due to preserving the engine. However, this game doesn't punish you for doing it when it's cold, so I'm just going to keep doing it. But once there's some temperature in the engine, I'll show you that the red line does actually adapt. Yes, I could start it preheated, but where's the fun in that? I'm gonna do it properly. See if what I can get out of it. See, red line's moving up, it's now 3.5 to 4. Five to 6, 5 to 5.5. this is the first car to actually properly implement this, which is quite nice, even though nobody's going to pay attention to it at all. And I'm probably right in thinking that this is the first one in game to have its tyre pressures displayed, but I can be corrected on that. And see, now that it's warm, red line has increased to the true red line of this car. And I'll quickly show you the drop top ones, but otherwise I'm going to use the hard top ones. They tend to perform better. As you see, open air. Let's see if the lateral release makes this any better. Fun fact, it didn't. So we're moving from the GT to the GTS, which is currently my personal favourite. Essentially, you get a slightly more powerful and slightly higher revving version of the 5 litre V10 that the GT has, with a slightly different interior, but ultimately it's better. And while we're here, this has one of the many new cars that has launch control with activates. So it holds at 5, let off the brake, perfect launch each time. So if you can do some driving from the outside. But your different driving modes affect how aggressive the traction control is, how aggressive the AC is, how the axle reflects, whatever it is, how well it changes gear, and how well the active aero works, and all the suspension settings and brake harness. This is basically the first trick of the car. This is the problem with modern hypercars, they're so fragile. Next we are skipping one, or skipping two in fact, we'll come back to all the special editions near the end. We now have the GTX. This is essentially a GTS, but you get a front diff. And I'll be honest, I don't like how this drives. It's without traction control, it's a handful. With traction control, it's just so understeery. You can just feel the front end pulling. It's not nice. The GTS is just so much better than this. But on paper, it's faster. So there's that. And a bit of funkiness from the front bumper. Lovely. Next, skipping one, we have the Civetta, which is limited edition for top speed developed autobahn cruising, and it is true in the fact that it does not handle well at all, but we have a new traction control mode, Velocity, I don't know, I'm not Italian, and it doesn't handle as badly as you expect it to handle. It's a bit oversteer and not that brilliant in the corners, a bit numb, but with it on this traction control setting, it's still pretty good. And the 5 litre in 10 1,000 turbos to match my apocalyptically awful driving. This is top speed, and this is the only factory variant that does not have a drop top available to it. It's fixed in variant. Fun fact, don't keep it pinned, it doesn't like it. And then, the final of the factory editions, we have the GTS Corsa, which is essentially a track day ready special edition. Which you get a fixed wing, no DRS, but you do get bigger brakes, and a bit more power, and a bit better engine, and it's designed more for handling rather than outright performance. However, it does start in sport, rather than any of the good systems. Overall, don't really get it. Why understate? We'll get on this stuff in the interest rate. You get a fancy public kit. Oh no. Well, I tried. Right, now that we've got all the factory ones done, let's have a look at some not so factory ones. And we'll start with the GTS Policia. Essentially, it's GTS, but with a police livery and a line. Not much more to say about that, really. It drives basically like a GTS. Not much more to do with that. We then have the Custom, which has nitrous, bigger turbos, this absolutely disgusting bolt-on body kit, bigger wheels, bigger brakes, absolutely massive wing, and generally it's meant to be better. And you get the special editions traction control. And don't use NOS, it blows the engine up. And traction control does not like this edition. It has got like 900 horsepower, it's got way too much for it to deal with. it's there if you want it. Interior, nah, not that aftermarket. Wrong button. Next we have the Dark Owl movie car, hot off the set of Dark Owl 2 Striking Tans, last surviving stunt car, formal function for a truly dangerous and unforgettable driving experience, and it doesn't lie. But, as you can hear, the 5 litre V10 is no more. That is a Gavril V8, 5.5 litres with a supercharger, and it is dangerous. Also, one thing to point out, this says DCT. This car is not a DCT, it is a sequential. It is dangerous to drive. No traction control, and it basically just set up to look good, which it does at night, but it is really bad to drive. Get over there. Also, this is the first one that I've shown you that has this racing interior with matching English, clearly not on it today, matching orange accents and very shiny metallic roller cage, and it goes around the doors, which is nice, not many people would notice. And this is the new adaptive head unit that was put in the game. You can change all the little panels on it, so you can have different information from tyre pressures, boost pressure, all that. And it clearly doesn't want to display supercharger pressure. But you've got all the aftermarket switches for your ignition and your separate pumps, and that's all. Top tip, always look where you drive. Anyway, fire extinguisher, strip floor, and sequential gear lever, not a manual, and not a DCT like it tells you it is. It lies. We then have the Amateur Rally, and this is a sequential, and it's modified for road rally racing, so no off-roading with this one, unfortunately, but designed for a lot harsher circuit than it's going to be going around. And essentially this is a GTS, but less. Forgiving to drive, very nice to drive. Probably one of the best ones. Yeah, practice for GTS. You know it's quite one of the just tend to drive better than the true race ones. It's very much for that one next 30 seconds. A lot of front end crashes. My driving is just not up to it today. Anyway, the last one that we're going to be testing on this track is the race, which, as I said, it's not fantastic. But you do have the option of a race traction control system. It's very much needed. Also, whenever I see this livery, I just immediately begin to think and that broke the back wheel somehow. But yeah, it's basically like the rally version, but faster, not set up for road rally, just for absolute track. Now, next one requires us to go off the track, is the off-road, and this is a DCT. A wrecked supercar with a reciprocating sort and a well-driven recipe front, and this thing is ridiculous, it's brilliant. Also, to be aware, there is no drive mode on this DCT, only sport or manual, but the party piece is that. That is the 6 litre turbo diesel and with a D series, and it's making about 500 horsepower. Completely shop bodywork. This thing, it looks good and it drives good. It is so fun. Once you get wheel spinning, you can just slide it and stop it. Not built for like rock crawling, it's just made as more of a gimmick for the actual true built for purpose. Like this dirt trail is just perfect. It's not really anything new. It's more about showing his power. But still pretty fun. This I want to see straight down all the time with big tires. Also, one thing, the gearbox in auto mode like this doesn't like it when you're sometimes best to just over rev. See? Much more durable than the other ones. Let's have a look. Only just. Anyway, the next one can't be tested here, so we need to go to the drag strip. And this version is obviously the drag. Absolutely nuts. Still a V10, but nitrous and twin turbos. It is nice. Bogs down, but so good. And if you watch me, I'll do a slow mo, you can see that it just picks up these ridiculous. Probably my new go-to drag car though. But yeah, it comes in like poo brown for some reason. It bogs down on the start, goes turbos, but once it picks up this thing, it just picks wheels up off the ground. Probably should have started slow-mo a bit sooner. A bit later. Ready? If it'll do it on this strip, probably not. No wheels on the ground going in second. Just to prove how mad it is, I'll put it up against the car. Which it clearly doesn't let you do now. This is new. Opponent bin. Let's put it up against one of the tried and tested drag cars, the Moonhawk. Now that is a bloody good drag car, but this thing will make it look like mincemeat. When it takes off. I expected better, however. Next mission. Now, I'm not investing enough in launching it better, but if you could get a golden launch on this is easily the fastest drag car. It just doesn't like to. Yikes. Yeah, you're not surviving that. But that is my overall very short and brief review of this new car. I'm not going to pronounce its name, I'll get it wrong. But my two takeaways are, this is the best factory one, that's the best aftermarket one, that's the most fun. Anyway, Thank you all for watching, goodbye.